Oh, you actually did it. I wish I was able to put the title up here on what I wanted to call this video. But what I am going to chit chat about a little bit with this video is I am holistic. People think that holistic is stringent. And I had a question that was imposed on me, or not too much of a question, but they were afraid that they are a bad influence on me based on what I had put in my mouth. Keep your mind out good.
Oh, dog.
I'm gonna let these people pass by real quick before I continue. Hey, hi. Right now with shoes.
Y'all about to have a race?
Huh?
Y'all getting stretched out. I didn't know if y'all were racing.
I don't think you want none of this.
3.
So, hey, you guys. All right. I had something that was not a part of my normal diet, and being holistic, my typical diet is whole foods, very clean eats. That's what I normally do. And every blue moon, depending on if I travel, if I, step out, I'm a foodie, okay? But people think just because I step off my A game from time to time, I reneged on a deal. No. My whole understanding in my practice and my teachings when it comes to me helping someone else is based on discipline, moderation, and well-being and structure. When I help people understand what it takes to come from cravings, one of the things I don't do is stress a person out when it comes to trying to break away from cravings. I have a technique, and the technique is to not tell a person what they should and should not do. Right? First thing first, that person is going to be like, is you crazy? I am not about to give that up. I'm not ready. I want to do this, but if you're telling me I got to get rid of this, that, and the other, you can forget about it. And I'm human, right? I am a person of this world. I am a traveler. I'm a world traveler. I have been around the world. I'm an international traveler. And right now, I'm understanding more of how people tick and talk, with different cultures and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, everybody they gravitate towards taste buds and foods. And nobody wants to give up what tastes good to them. And the reason why people don't want to give up what tastes good to them is because if it's not good for them, they don't have an alternative. So what I practice and preach all the time is not what you should and should not have, but more of what alternatives do you have, and have you detox your gut. Because you can tell a person that sugar is not this, carbs is not that, but if you tell them to take away that, the very thing that's making them ache, the very thing that's making their body go into high gear of inflammation, they're not going to know how. They're not going to want to give it up, and it will continue to do the things that they're doing that keeps putting them in that space. So I get them to understand mindfulness and mindset alternatives, so I can help them make it easier on them, not stress them out with how they're going to have to dump their pantry out, because nobody don't want to do that. And most people know that it's cheaper to buy dehydrated foods. It's not cheap to buy whole foods. It's very expensive. And I show people how to get around that. So when it comes to me, I have been practicing a whole food type of eating for a very long time. And my body is pretty much detoxed. And sometimes, you know, I go ahead and dump a little toxic food on it, but it's nothing that I would be like, you know, if it was pork, I don't do pork. You know, I don't do really meats. You know, if I do a meat, it's like a turkey bacon or something. I don't buy these kind of things, and I don't detest it either. What I do detest is getting a person to understand why they're inflamed and getting them to see the difference. So if they're eating a lot of meats, I get them to understand why your gut is performing the way it is, why you're constipated, right? So if they're constipated and they got a bulging stomach, right? I question, what have you been eating? Are you tired of that bulging stomach? Do you understand the connections between that bulging stomach and how it's affecting your better health or your health, period, if it's not at the best, right? So I draw the connections. And then my first emphasis when it comes to emphasizing something is detoxing the gut. So I have a detoxer, a strong, powerful master detoxer for the gut. And people would ask me, do I have to change my eating habits? And that's the major question that I get all the time. And I am so happy to say, no, not really. All I need you to do is practice and keep it consistent with drinking this stuff on a normal basis, right? And how I set them up to not go backwards to what they've been doing is by getting them to stay consistent on this regimen that I've placed out for them. And what happens is that they begin to detox their gut, and the cravings, the sugars, the carbs, all that stuff that has been gunked up in their system for years and years and years begin to melt out and flush out of the system. And this is where they begin to see that they feel better, they're not in pain, and now I can go ahead and say, now, how do you feel? They come back and tell me, I feel great. I don't want to put that food back into my body. That's when I know I got them by the balls. And this is where I start talking about, now let's practice mindfulness, right? Now let's talk about alternatives. Right? Now let's talk about how you can stick to something and not go backwards. Let me give you some recipes that's going to help you change the game and stay on a different kind of path, right? So I never really talk about how people should do this and should do that. And when it comes to me, since I am so active with constantly detoxing my body, I know how to do it, so I don't feel guilty when I do have something that is outside of my norm. I don't feel guilty because my cravings don't kick up. I don't have a craving. And that's what detoxing for me does. It does not put me in a crave status. And that's what I try to help other people. So when people come around and they see me, or I'm around them, say for instance, I'm around family or I'm at a gathering, I'm very, very mindful of what I pick up on. I don't pick up on certain things. Like, for instance, I don't practice food combinations that's not healthy for the body, right? Because this is going to cause the body to get back to being scummed up. And that's the whole thing. If you keep eating that way and you have no understanding, no discipline, no mindfulness. Look at my son on the floor, on the ground, doing push-ups. As heavy as he is, but I try to get people to understand, if you don't constantly put this kind of food in your body back to back on a daily basis, then you're not going to have to worry about going backwards after you descummed your gut. Descumming your gut basically means you're going into a reverse mode. You're going into a healthier space, right? But if you descum yourself and then you trigger and constantly force this kind of sugar crave onto yourself, constantly force, sugar into your body, constantly force the pastas back into your body, constantly force the rice back into your body, yes, you will put yourself back into that recessive state again. And that's what I preach. Don't go back there constantly. And it's hard for a person to not go back there if they don't have alternatives. So I can have my little cake and eat it too and say, I gotta have more cake. I gotta go back to the store. There's people that go to the store on purpose to go and get cookies and come right back out of there. There's people that go to the gas station and go and get Sour Patch and come right back out of there, or go and get Gatorade, come back out of there. That's when you got a problem, especially if you don't recognize that you have that problem. That's what I try to show people. Hey, there's nothing you can do about that but detoxing your gut. Because it's not you telling you to go there. It's your gut telling you to go there and do that. So when people see me have my cake, a little piece of cake, and eat it too, and then I go back, they think they're a bad influence. No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm mindful. I can see. I know what I'm doing. I won't go back and say, let me go ahead and get another piece of cake today, or let me take some cake home. I don't take that stuff home unless there's some birthday cake. And I don't like to get the cake either, because they have trifling ingredients in it. So I'm very leery of stuff like that. And I'm not a baker, right? I will, but I'm not the best baker. I can cook, but I'm not a baker, right? But what I try to emphasize to people is, if you want to change your habit and you want to do better for yourself, detox your gut. Don't stress yourself out. I'm not here to throw big giant words at you that's over your head. I'm not here to go ahead and say, let me tell you, you got to put down this, you got to put down that. That's the first thing a person would do, is run for the hills. They don't want to give up their good foods. That's one of my specialties. I come from New Orleans, and since I come from New Orleans, I have a sense of taste buds. Right? My taste buds are very, very powerful when it comes to combining certain things. I know what I'm doing, right? And I know how to combine foods properly, right? So since I have that skill set, I'm able to go ahead and work around the kitchen and then show people this is how you avoid going backwards. But if people, they're burying me, maybe these little kids. Okay. But if people don't have a means of getting out of that situation after they detox, they're going to go backwards. And then they're going to be afraid to break away from their traditional foods, like rice and gravy, or pasta and cheese and milk all combined together. That's that gut sticking stuff. That's the stuff that's going to say, give me some more. That's not good for the gut. That's not good for the joints. That's not good for your eyes. That's not good for your intestines. That's not good for your liver. That's not good for a lot of stuff. That's not good for your skin, because your body is going to want to purge all that mucus and all that stuff. This is why people get I'm afraid, because there's a lot of bugs. I'm not trying to become a part of, the system. I feel like something is crawling underneath there. But anyways, people have to have a way out. They have to have an option out, and people don't have those options. So you scared me. I told you. Okay, my bad. So when people ask, or think that they're being a bad influence on me because I had a Girl Scout cookie, or they want to, mess around with me and be like, oh, the sugar queen. No, let me tell you, I don't use white sugar in my house, right? I don't use brown sugar in my house. I don't bring these things on in my house. Why? Because it's easy for it to be used in my house. When people know how to create their own kind of natural sweetener, it's easier for them to break away from that stuff. When they understand how this is affecting their body, they're like, okay, I get it. I don't want to use this anymore. But the only way you can break away from it at 1,000% is by detoxing your gut. Detoxing your gut. People don't know how to do it. People don't know which works the best. And this is why I can say you're not a bad influence on me at all. Because once I eat this cookie, I don't go back to cookies. I don't go and say, let me go to the store and get a cookie. You see what I mean? So this is what I help people understand, right? So mindfulness, moderation, balance. Those are the things that I try to help people out. I show them how to do that. I don't stress you about it. And I don't think, I don't want you to stress me either, because I'm all right. my skin is good looking. My nose is running, which lets me know I have good, drainage, right? And sorry, y'all, stuff here is running. But and I don't get sick. My baby. I don't get sick. I don't have anxiety. I have great breathing techniques. My mind is clear. I have a lot going on for myself where I am not caught up in a rapture of my stomach telling me what to do in a negative way. My gut talks to me and tell me how to improve my better health in a positive way. So that's what I do, right? So no, people don't influence me. If I do what I do it because I know how. And also, if I was to have something that is like not according to what I normally would do, I know how to get rid of it out of my system. One, I don't go back and put it back in the next day. All right, I go back and I flush my system out so it doesn't get stuck in my system, and it starts to tell me to go back and get some more. I don't do that. I know how to do it. I am a master detoxer, so I know how to defeat the bull crap that is in front of me, and I don't have cravings. My mouth don't salivate because I see something that everybody else is eating. I can look at it, stare it down, and have this war game against it like I win. And that's what most people don't have. They don't win. They can't win amongst this game of called food wars, right? Are you addicted to food? I'm not addicted to food, okay? I use food to help me heal my body, and I also use it the way I want to, whenever I want to, but I'm in control, and that's what I try to show you, how to be in control. Don't be utilized. And the way you do it is by detoxing your gut. Start by detoxing your gut. That's the only way. These come, and then from there, your mind will start talking to you in a positive light. That's just how it is. So, if you have any kind of challenges, if you feel like, you know what, I need a little help with that, if you feel like you're ready to go ahead and not be in pain anymore, you don't want to be constipated anymore, you want to get rid of that guts, all those kind of things, you don't want to eat the sugar. That's people that eat so much sugar, and they're diabetics, and they wonder why they can't stop eating sugar. They can't stop eating the sugar because they're plagued by biomes that get the best of them in their gut. And my nose is just right here. I'm sorry, y'all. And plus my kids are sitting here burying me, which is great. I love it because that's what I want. I'm here to ground and let these babies take advantage of that vitamin D. So yeah, I'm out here. Beautiful. Huh?
I made a bug house.
You made a bug house? What's that, a bug house?
A bug house.
A bug house, oh, okay. I let my kids do this all the time. Look at her, she thinks she's an animal. I don't know. She's a spirit cat.
I'm burying you.
You better, I see. How we gonna get out of here if I'm being buried? Okay, so that's what I want to show you guys with clarity. This is why my body is always in a burning state. I am 40 years old, or young, shall I say. And if you ask me, I'm actually 34 because I went into burn mode about 6 years ago, and I started going backwards on my health, going backwards on my aging process, and I look younger than I have ever looked in my life. That's because I cracked the code, and I'm here to help you crack it too, so you can have a better understanding. Nobody wants to be growing up with a bulging stomach, achy joints, health issues. And if you do, I understand, to each his own, but most people, let's keep it 100, they don't want that, but they just don't have a solution. So let me go ahead and help you. If y'all need some help, I'm here. Catch these lives when I put them out there. I know I'm not consistent with timing and stuff like that. You can always just message me, or you can sign up to my online platform at religionofhealth.com and catch those the newsletters that I'll be putting out really, really soon. Things like that, so you can help yourself. You don't even have to message me. You can just catch all these little freebies, or you can just ask me to be your coach, and I'll show you the way. I'll help you, see something that you never seen before. I've helped many people with all kind of health issues at different kind of ages, and my stuff has been successful. And if there's something that you don't really understand, or I don't really understand, I'm not going to say, I can't help you. No, that's a growing space for me too. Holistic is basically understanding the balance. Not everybody has the answers, so the whole thing is to try to figure it out and not abandon the mission. And I'm not going to help you abandon the mission either. I'm going to help you see yourself through, by trial and error. Just because something doesn't work don't mean you give up. No, you continue to search out what will work. Don't give up on yourself.
I buried my...
And it all starts off at the gut. So. Okay, so. My little babies. Yeah, I'm telling y'all.
I buried her.
I have been eating, and I've been in New Orleans acting up. I went in New Orleans. I didn't eat all that, ratchet food that I grew up on. I didn't do all that, but I did eat home cooked meals that is totally outside of my norm, and I enjoyed every bit of it. I let my family take care of me, and I did not toot my nose up. Certain things I did, and they know that. They know, not to, take it there with me. But I did not toot my nose up acting like I was too good to have this kind of food or whatever. Nope, I understood what it takes to clear it out and help myself, to get back on track. But ever since I came from over there, I've been on a mission where I was just like going in and having my enjoyment, so. And now the new month is coming around, and I'm definitely getting myself back on track. I'm going into another detox state. And this is what you got to do to constantly keep your body in fat-burning machine, or fat-burning mode, is detox, 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 detox. There's all kind of detoxes, but start with the gut. And then from there, you can do a lymphatic detox. You can do a skin detox. You can do all kind of different detoxes. You can go on a fruit and vegetable detox. It doesn't mean that you have to do something in particular, like one set way. No, you have many different ways, and you can enjoy every bit of it, right?
I'm putting all this sand on here.
I'm ready to go. Yeah, my nose is going off. My little baby. He over here burying me. Check this place out, y'all. So, I'll see y'all on my next video. My next live. No, baby. My next live. And I hope this information was helpful. Share it to somebody or with somebody. Stop that. Listen, boy, I will not have sand in my car. Okay? All right, y'all. Deuces. Happy Sunday.
Sunday?
Yeah, Monday.